Hello, everyone. Welcome to my data detective review on insurability of cyber risk. Now, this is by Bina, Elling, and Wifs, and it was published in 2015. Now, in this talk, I'll play the role of a detective, breaking down the study's central questions, the data used, what the authors found, and my thoughts on how clear, accurate, and valuable these articles are. So the research question is, as you can see here, so the authors, they wanted us to know if cyber risks can be insured like other business risks. They studied how often losses happen and how severe they are, and they checked if those patterns fit into existing insurance rules. They also looked at how the results differ across industries. So that's the research question, and the source of the data is they use the SAS up risk global data. This data set has 994 cyber loss cases with the incidents recorded up to 2009. These cases come from industries like finance, healthcare, and retail. And the authors, they noted that underreporting is common in cyber risk, so the numbers may not show the whole picture. The study also used Ballinger's ninth insurability criteria from 1982. They grouped risk into people, technology, processes, and outside events. Using this framework, the authors, they were able to compare cyber risk with more traditional types of business risk. And here the key findings. The first key findings on cyber loss is that they are usually minor compared to other operational losses. Most incidents were caused by people, though through their mistakes or intentional actions. Many incidents happen simultaneously, creating a chain reaction that is hard for insurers to manage. The second one is the financial industry. Now, it has the most brutal hit because loss severity was different across industries, showing that not all sectors face the same level of risk. Cyber insurance exists, but coverage is still narrow with many limits and exclusion. One strength of this paper is how clearly the data was shown. The tables were organized, the values made results easier to read, and the terms were used consistently. This helps readers understand the results without confusion. The analysis was also strong with a significant enough data set to support the results. The authors used clear measures like averages, medians, and values at risk. However, the data only went up to 2009, which was already old by 2015. Also, there may be gaps since not all of the cyber incidents were reported. Now, how is this relevant to the IT field? This research is still very relevant for IT and cybersecurity. It shows how cyber risk can spread quickly and affect many systems simultaneously. These findings are helpful for insurers, businesses, and policymakers. The paper also helped shape today's cyber insurance market. What is the communication effectiveness? The authors explain that their work they balanced it with their theory with real data. They use Berliner's framework as a guide, and they connected evidence to their main points. The style was academic, but it was still clear enough for people to be people that are outside the research to be able to get a clear picture of what they were talking about. Some of the insights I gained from this review, I learned a few key lessons. One, good data needs to be presented clearly and logically. It is essential to explain assumptions and admit limitations. And when many risks are connected, insurance becomes harder to design. Now, how does this apply to my work? These lessons apply to my own IT work. I should use visuals and clear terms when sharing findings. I also need to give context so the data isn't misunderstood, and I should write for both technical experts and general audiences so that everybody can be able to understand the message I'm trying to pass. And to make this review more effective and engaging, I use a detective board idea. Now on the board, cyber risks are shown as clues, loss of data as evidence, and Berliner's criteria as a checklist. Strings connect these pieces to show how everything fits together. Now the conclusion of all this is that this study showed that cyber risks can be insured, but only within limits. The biggest challenge is that risks are often linked, making them harder to manage. This paper also reminded me of the need for clear communication when dealing with complex IT issues. I've also made a list of the reference I used, the articles I used, and this is it. Thank you very much for watching the end of my data detective review. I hope it was informative. Thank you.